What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another predictions video. Today, we're going over my Week 3 predictions. So far on the year, we are 19-13, and we need to improve that record. We're above 500, which was the goal, but we need to improve that record. So this week is going to be the week that I go 17-0. But before we get started, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, all that YouTube stuff, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. Alright, our first game is going to be the 1-1 Giants going to San Francisco. The 49ers, who are 2-0, recently beating the Rams. The Giants recently just beat the Cardinals in a nail-biter of a game. They were down 20-0 at one time. There's no Saquon for the Giants, though, and that's going to play a major role for the Giants because Saquon Barkley is, I'd say, 85% of what the Giants' offense runs through. And on the 49ers side of things, they're in cruise control right now. They're not struggling at all. All their offensive pieces are working phenomenal. Their defense looks great. Everything's going good for the 49ers right now. And ESPN favors the 49ers to win 79.9% chance of winning. The Indianapolis Colts, who are 1-1, going up against the Baltimore Ravens, who are undefeated as of right now. The Colts last week lost Anthony Richardson to concussion protocol. Gardner Minshew, though, he held his own, but it was against the Texans. The Texans aren't very good. The Ravens, they were kind of banged up going into that game last week against the Bengals, and they pulled out a victory. The Bengals, however, have been struggling, so who knows what it really is. Is it the Bengals struggling, or is the Ravens really that good? I'm going to pick the Ravens here because no Anthony Richardson. I don't believe in Gardner Minshew. And ESPN, they predict for the Ravens to have a 77% chance. Next up, we got a battle of 1-1 teams. It's the Tennessee Titans going against the Cleveland Browns. And the Browns, heartbreaking for them. They just lost Nick Chubb to an ACL injury. He's out for the season. So the Browns aren't looking too good on the offense. Deshaun Watson's going to have to put this offense on his shoulders. And he's going to have to try to carry them. He did not do a good job against the Steelers. He looked really bad. And on the Titans side of things, they pulled out a nail-biter versus the Chargers. And there's this thing called the Charger effect. And the Chargers are known to lose close games. And the Titans, they just played good football the entire game. Hardly any turnovers. Titans played really good. The ESPN, they favor the Browns 57.2%, but I'm going to pick the Titans. Next game is the 2-0 Falcons going up against the 1-1 Lions. The Falcons came back against the Packers last week. Jordan Love and the Packers kind of crumbled towards the end, and this Falcons offense is just, it's so confusing to watch. They don't use Kyle Pitts. They don't use Drake London. It's really just Bijan Robinson and Desmond Ridder making plays with their legs. And Bijan, he's looking really special. He's going to be great. And on the Lions side of things, they just lost in overtime. And I'm surprised I didn't hear anything. Normally, whenever teams lose in overtime, they don't touch the ball. They end up complaining about it. But this time, they didn't complain about it. The Seahawks they won the coin toss. Seahawks go 75 yards down the field, score the game-winning touchdown. Lions don't get a chance to touch the ball. It's pretty heartbreaking for them. I feel like both teams should get to touch the ball. Let me know what you guys think. Next up, we got the 2-0 New Orleans Saints visiting the 1-1 Green Bay Packers. And Jordan Love, surprisingly, leads the NFL in passing touchdowns, which is great if it could amount to more wins. Yes, they're all 1-1. It's early in the season. But you got to pull out these close games. You got to pull out these close games. These games are going to count. Excuse me. On the Saints side of things, they can't score in the red zone at all. I think they're like 2 for 8 on the year in the red zone. Awful. Barely beat the Panthers with Bryce Young, who's still struggling to learn how to play in the NFL. And ESPN, they favor the Packers 53.5% to win this game. And I agree with them. I think the Packers in Green Bay have a pretty solid chance over them. Next up, we got the Texans visiting the Jaguars. And last week, we thought that the Jaguars-Chiefs game was going to be super entertaining. What a dud of a game. Both offenses were just so slow. And I don't know if both defenses were just playing really good, but they don't have that great of defenses. Those offenses were sputtering all game. And the Texans, I don't think that they're any good. I really don't. C.J. Stroud struggled. He's got to work on being protected by his offensive line. If they can't get this offensive line figured out, then C.J. Stroud is going to get hurt, and that's not good for Texans fans. This is not looking like a good Texans team. The Jags, I want to see some more explosive offense out of them, and this is a really good get-back game for them after they lost to the Chiefs last week. ESPN favors the Jags 71.3%, and I agree with this one. Next up, we got a struggling Broncos team going up against a juggernaut of the Dolphins. The Dolphins are looking phenomenal so far. Yes, they played 2 close games, but Tua is looking unstoppable. Tyreek Hill is unstoppable. Jalen Waddle, darn near unstoppable. This defense is making plays. This Dolphins team, dark horse Super Bowl contender this year. I think that they could really come out of the AFC and shock some people. And on the Broncos side of things, Russell Wilson's looking better than last year. But last year was terrible, and when you only get a little better than terrible, that's just bad. And he looks bad. Let's be real. This Broncos offense struggles to put up points. Yes, they did come back against the Commanders, and they got sold on the 2-point play. They got a Hail Mary to try to win the game. They go for 2, and they don't get it. They got sold, but at the end of the day, an L is an L, and they were going to lose that game regardless. This is looking really, really bad for the Broncos. ESPN, they favor the Dolphins 70.2%, and I just can't walk away from that. 70.2% to the Dolphins. It should probably be higher. Dolphins are winning. Our next game, we've got 2 teams that I don't think anybody expected to not have a win so far. We got the 0-2 Chargers going up against the 0-2 Vikings, and the Vikings, they struggled against the Eagles mightily struggled. Without the Eagles starting running back, they struggled. And the Chargers side of things, they struggled against the Titans. The Titans aren't that good of a football team, and yet they struggled. It's just the Chargers. They're the first team in NFL history to put up 50-plus points in their first 2 games and start out 0-2. That's terrible. ESPN favors the Chargers to win 63.4%. I'm going to take the Chargers. Next up, we've got the 0-2 Patriots going against the 1-1 Jets. And the Jets look terrible without Aaron Rodgers. Zach Wilson has already, a league high in interception. I think pretty sure he's leading the league in interception with 4. The Patriots side of things, they've lost 2 close games. One against the Eagles because they couldn't get their receiver's foot in bounds on a 4th down play that ended the game. And then against the Dolphins, they're trying to mount a game-winning drive, and Mike Gesicki catches the ball short of the 1st down, laterals it to an offensive lineman, and the offensive lineman is centimeters away from the 1st down. Centimeters. That's pretty heartbreaking if you're a Patriots fan. But I think they get back on track against the Jets. I have no faith in Zach Wilson. They need another quarterback immediately. ESPN, however, favors the Jets 54.9% to win. I'm taking the Patriots all day here. Up, we got the Bills playing the Commanders, and the Commanders, boy oh boy, did they get lucked out by the refs. I guess the refs just wanted to go home during that Broncos game, because on that 2-point try, it was most definitely a pass interference. If you haven't seen that play, go look it up. It's absurd that the refs didn't call that. But nonetheless, the Commanders came out with a win, and they're playing this Bills team who had a very convincing win against the Raiders last week. ESPN, they've got the Bills favored to win 73.5%. I'm taking the Bills here. This Commanders team, they played too close of a games against the Cardinals and the Broncos for me to believe in them to win this game. Up, we've got the 0-2 Carolina Panthers playing my beloved Seahawks. I'm taking the Seahawks here. Last time I took the Seahawks, it bit me in the butt. But I believe in this team now. This team, last week I said no hope for the team. I know. But they just beat a really, really solid Lions team in overtime. And this Panthers team struggles on offense. Struggles mightily. Bryce Young, when he's not pressured, he's a pretty good quarterback. But I think there's a stat out there that when he's pressured, he's like 4 for 23 on the season. You got to pressure Bryce Young. That gets to him. Small frame, starts to get nervous, throws the ball away, makes errant throws. He struggled so far, but it's also only going to be week 3. ESPN, they favor the Seahawks 72.6% to win, and I'm going to take the Seahawks on this one. Now, we've got our lock of the week. This week's lock of the week is going to be Cowboys at the Cardinals. Obviously, I'm taking the Cowboys. Cardinals, I don't think they're going to win a game all year. But because the Cowboys, their defense looked phenomenal. I know they played the Jets with Zach Wilson, who's not that good of a quarterback. And if they had Aaron Rodgers, it's probably a different game. But this Cowboys defense is legit, and they're playing another bad team in the Cardinals. Joshua Dobbs, he looked all right versus the Giants, had some plays. But I don't think that this Cowboys defense, this is the best Cowboys team I've seen in my entire life. And that's saying something because I've seen a lot of Cowboys teams and a lot of, we done boys, this our year. This might actually be their year. But we got one of the more disappointing teams in the NFL going up against the Chiefs. It's the Bears at the Chiefs. I don't know what happened to Justin Fields. He's looking terrible. A lot of people thought that he would be an MVP candidate this year. He hasn't looked like that. There's obviously some problems going on in this Bears organization. Their defensive coordinator resigned. He wasn't fired. Yes, this defense has not been good. He resigned. He said, you know what? This is terrible. I'm getting my butt out of here. He resigned. That's showing that there's some bigger problems going on with the Bears outside of just Justin Fields. This is a ship that's about to burn. Burn, 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 burn. The Chiefs side of things, it's the Chiefs. They're playing a bad team. I'll take the Chiefs any day of the week. Next up is this week's coin toss of the week. We've got the Pittsburgh Steelers going down to Las Vegas to play the Raiders. This Steelers offense is terrible. They're going to have to rely on their defense to remain in games. And the Raiders side of things, they just got dominated by the Bills. They got to get this run game going to help Jimmy Garoppolo out. Josh Jacobs only had 9 rushing yards. Only 9. This was the NFL's leading rusher last year, and he only had 9 rushing yards. They got to get him going to win this game. ESPN favors the Raiders 51% to win. I'm going to take the Steelers here, but like I said, this is the coin toss of the week. Next up, we got the Eagles visiting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm going to take the Eagles here. I think the Eagles, they look great. The Buccaneers, I've picked them to win their last 2 games, and I've been right. But this Eagles team is a juggernaut. Baker Mayfield, he's been balling out, so maybe he'll prove all of us wrong. But the Eagles, they're so good. Their running game is unstoppable. It doesn't matter who's playing running back. I mean, DeAndre Swift just looked phenomenal against the Vikings. Looked unstoppable. But, hey, maybe we start counting Baker out again, and he proves us wrong. Last, and certainly not least, it's the Bengals visiting the Rams. Super Bowl matchup from a few years back. I'm going to take the Bengals here. I've been wrong every time so far on the Bengals games this year. But it's only week 3. I'm going to take the Bengals here. The Rams, they've played solid football for them not having one of the best rosters in the NFL. But the Bengals, I can't stop taking Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd. That offense is really, really good. It's super hard to pick against the Bengals. Yes, they're 0-2. Yes, they've gone off to a slow start, but last year they went off to a slow start too. And I think this week they start to pick things up against the Rams. With that being said, that was my week 3 predictions. We're 19-13 so far. We got to pick up that record. It's got to be better. I know we're above 500, but I think this week we could really go 17-0. Let me know what you guys think about the video down in the comment section down below. Make sure you like, subscribe, share this video out, put it on your Instagram story, whatever it takes. Let's try to get more people to watch this video. And I, as always, hope you guys have a blessed day. Peace out.